very special race here in Canada. It's ARCSOA's 350th race. And what a momentous occasion it has been to make it 350 races here in Canada. However, it has been nothing short of a weekend of celebration. We're celebrating the life of Kyle Collins this weekend, as this would have been his home race, our reigning champion who tragically died at Rockingham in the round of North Carolina last year, which ended up being the de facto season finale. There is also a new video game being released, ARCSOA Racer 23, that has just been released with Collins on the cover of it. Congratulations, well, to the post-humanimous cover of Kyle Collins. And, however, there is some not-so-good stuff that happened this weekend. First off, qualifying was an absolute downpour. So the qualifying order is insanely mixed up, with Scott Roush putting on a wet weather driving clinic getting the pole. With, alongside of him is Dorian Bouchard, who has been absolutely nowhere all year, and he's qualifying second. Good job. Another couple of great showings by Becca Haddix, by Zayden Davidson qualifying fifth, Eric DeMax fourth, and a lot of the fast cars that were fast in practice in the dry are way in the back. So this should be a very, very interesting race. This track also is incredibly difficult to pass on because it's very narrow. So it should be a fun. There's a lot of concern that this race is going to be a bit of a crash fest, and I will have to say that's probably going to be the case. Anyway, let's go down to the race here at Toronto. Scott Roush leads the field down to the green, and away we go here at Toronto. He gets a great start over Dorian Bouchard in second. That's Eric DeMax in third. That's Ethan Moore in the 60. I forgot to mention that Grayson Acevedo was suspended for the round of Canada due to his actions in New Mexico. We're coming up to a very critical corner. We've been worried about braking down here, and we've been very concerned on the starts here of making sure everybody gets through. We got a little bit of contact further back. And I see Baker and Monaco are done. Looks like a couple of cars with, oh gosh, Darren Blake's upside down. Wonder what happened. Yeah, Darren Blake just cartwheeled when that would be Kyle Schock Jr. ran into him. We got Myatt with a lot of damage in the back. A couple other cars with a lot of damage in this one. Cole Baker started this by getting into the back of Eric Monaco, and it didn't look like Thaber and Shepard, or I'm sorry, that was Bisceglia, helped out all that much there. And here's the other part of this incident here, as the 8 car does not slow down enough and gets into the back of the 98, which gets into the back of the 65. Madeline Myatt got a little bit of damage there, and Kenny Myatt's got quite a bit. So we're going to get a very interesting championship battle after this, because the 2 championship leaders are way in the back. However, on lap 2, Scott Roush is leading over Bouchard, DeMax, Moore. Moore is doing a great job for not having much practice in that car. Bobby Jones is in 5th. Sean Angel's got some front-end damage, I think. Something happened to Angel there. I wonder what happened. Yeah, Angel on the second lap would get into the back of the 3 car, and he would damage his front end and have to pit as well. Tons of cars getting damage repair. Ooh, Becca Haddix took a big hit somewhere. I'm not sure where that happened. This was another incident on the first lap that we didn't see, but there was some on the inside, some contact that we didn't see. Haddix went around and wrecked a bit there as well. Also, some cars that wrecked were Lamas, Polyakov, Thaber, Bisceglia's got some front-end damage, and a few others. So Scott Roush on the end of lap 3 is pretty much pulling away from everybody here in a survival of the fittest showdown here in Toronto. And Bobby Jones is coming in with problems. That's not what DNC wanted to see. They wanted to win in the 3 car for Kyle Collins. And this isn't really what anybody wanted to see for the 350th ARCSOA Elite Series race. Jake Baskinger up to 6, having a quiet run this season. He's set to gain a ton of points on Myatt and Myatt at this rate, even though Madeline Myatt's still in this race in 15th position. I believe her father either fell out or is way down the order. Yeah, that's Vince Freeze by mistake. Yeah, Kenny Myatt's down in 24th position, so I don't think he's going to be going for a three-peat on the road courses so far this year. So Bouchard, Eric DeMax, and Ethan Moore have been doing a great job here, holding off a lot of people here. I believe Ethan Moore actually might be no, I'm sorry, Scott Roush is the fastest car on the track right now, from my observation. Oh no, Alex Allen's fast, along with a couple other drivers. Oh, you got some quick cars back here. Pericles is back here. Brock's back here. They're going to be factors as this race continues. Oh man, TJ Curtis fast as well. Vince Freeze. A bunch of cars are trying to work their way up the order ASAP to try and get back into this race here. However, Scott Roush is just legging it right now. He is the fastest car right now on the track. Problems for Madeline Myatt. She had a tire going down, and that's going to put Madeline Myatt in a bad point spot as well. Not what Maddie wanted here, and really what the rest of the field wanted was this to happen, with Madeline Myatt and Kenny Myatt having a miserable race. However, Maddie Myatt's quick, though, so I'm going to be interested to see what Maddie's going to do on a different strategy. Sanford pits from, I believe, he was running about 8th. Charles Sanford having issues with his car. You can tell it was a rain-affected qualifying, because I got to be honest, both Ethan Moore and Eric DeMax are not as fast as some of these cars a little further back. Jake Baskinger's pretty quick back here as well, and it actually is showing because Roush is able to pull away from, and even Bouchard for that matter, is able to pull away so easily. However, Roush is coming up to the back of Kenny Myatt, who is dreadfully slow, and Eddie Chapadkar, who is dreadfully slow. Baker and Haddix aren't fast either. Baker is the slowest car on the track. Haddix actually isn't doing too bad, but she's pitting this time. Baker is the slowest car on the track right now. Rowe is coming down pit road for his first stop of the race. Rowe is really doing some different strategies to pit early. Oh, somebody else. I'm sorry, Haddix came in as... Oh yeah, I saw Haddix was coming in, but Rowe has been quietly good this year. I'm interested to see what the 21 will do throughout the season. Scott Roush is marred in heavy lap traffic. However, he seems to be handling it quite well with poise, as Padkar is seemingly making his life a little bit difficult there, but Roush does get through that lap traffic with relative ease. He has to deal with Cole Baker, who just now set his fastest lap of the race of a 1:12.4. Keep in mind that Roush can do 1:09.4s quite easily. So as long as he doesn't get held up by Baker, he should be an easy one to pass, because his car's that atrociously slow. Dorian Bouchard was starting to leg himself a little bit on DeMax, but DeMax is now setting some pretty quick times to catch Bouchard. Simply because I think they're worried about Baskinger now, but Baskinger's having a tough time getting by Davidson. And Scott Roush now is going very aggressive here with Cole Baker here, trying the outside of turn 3. That's an aggressive move there. But Baker's car simply has no power to really challenge that, so Roush is going to get this move done quite easily here, I believe. And Baker's still fighting through these cornering complexes here, but it looks like Roush is going to get that spot quite easily. Dorian Bouchard now has caught the back end of the 15 car, and the pad car won't be easy to get by. He never has been. And Bouchard, well, he's one of the nicest guys on the track, but now he's got to show some aggression. He tried down low, but Padkar's fighting him pretty hard here. And, well, that's not going to work, as now you've actually got a battle in front of him between Myatt and Baker. Roush is pulling away because of all this lap car racing. Oh, Myatt caught the wall there. Myatt's car is not very good, to be honest with you right now, ever since he took that hit. And, well, this is going to make the championship really fun. John Arndt just grenaded the motor. That's Arndt out of the race. Tough break for Arndt. He has had no luck this season, as Myatt's coming down pit road is going to get stuck behind Arndt. Well, that'll help a lot of cars trying to get by him eventually. Over all that slopes, going to put Eric DeMax right on the back bumper of the 73 car going around these cornering complexes here. And, oh man, they're battling really hard up front here. Bouchard is going to have to pick a line here, and what's he going to do? He really has nowhere to go. Oh, looks like DeMax caught a little bit of the rear end of, oh, Baker hits the wall. I was going to say DeMax caught a little bit of the rear end of Bouchard there. Ethan Moore's trying to make a move on DeMax. Moore going very aggressive there. And not going to work, though, for Moore. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Scott Roush is in his own zip code. Over Bouchard, DeMax, and Moore, with Baskinger there as well. Baskinger's trying his best as all these good cars have been taken out in wreck here. Looks like Moore's trying another move on DeMax, and this time it's going to work, I think. As Bouchard is now dealing with Pad Car. Baker gets out of Moore's way. Bouchard gets by the 15 with ease. Baskinger now has gotten by DeMax. So Baskinger is in position. Oh, looks like DeMax caught, no, I'm sorry, Davidson caught the back of DeMax there. Zayden Davidson, the Australian, trying his best to hold himself in a relative high light here. Oh, looks like DeMax's car doesn't look very handling friendly right now. That's going to put Davidson in the high line. A little further back, you've got a battle between Curtis and Pericles. Pericles doing his best as well as, oh man, they've got some damage on the left side there. There was a little bit of contact between the 22 and the 83 a couple laps ago. They've been battling really hard, these two have been. However, now you got some pit stop cycles setting up here. And still no sign of the two pitting, but a couple cars are coming down pit road. I see Caldwell's coming down with, I think that's Curtis. And Scott Roush, I gotta be honest with you, he has been absolutely thoroughly dominant this weekend in that 2 car. He has gotten this Toronto track down pat here, and he is doing an awesome job in the 2 car. He is setting lap times that no one's even dreamed of setting this weekend, and in the heavy rain, he was by far the fastest car when low power cars seemed to be the best way to go because the high power cars were just spinning their tires in the rain. Now is where Bouchard, Kyle Collins had a lot of say in Bouchard, even though he passed away, had a lot of say in Bouchard's career. Now Bouchard needs to prove what kind of talent Collins saw in him, as Bouchard really needs to start closing the gap if he wants any shot at this win, unless if the 10 breaks down or something, or the 2 rather. Nick Pericles and Jake Baskinger have brought it down pit road. That is going to be a very interesting pit stop strategy as we're seeing as Roush still hasn't made a pit stop yet. However, his tires are starting to go little by little here, and he actually is setting similar lap times to Bouchard now. Alex Allen from P8, however, his race was going from one of the fastest cars on the racetrack to out very quickly when he would grenade the motor in the 44 car. Tough break for Allen. Charles Sanford has had a miserable race so far here with a bunch of with a bunch of mechanical problems. He's had a miserable season in his own regard, even to the point where there's rumors that CJ Racing is considering replacing him, which is kind of sad because Charles Sanford's one of the better drivers on the grid. Keep in mind, Jake Baskinger has already pitted and Roush has not. However, oh, Roush just grenaded it! Roush just grenaded the motor! Ah, no! Not again! Roush had that! He was pulling away like a second a lap! And he blows it up! Ah, no! Bouchard just took the lead there, but how crap is that? So now, Dorian Bouchard, the hand-picked successor to Kyle Collins, is in the lead of the race. Ethan Moore's in second, and Eric DeMax is third. Now, granted, I think we're going to see Grayson Acevedo back in this car. next weekend in Illinois. However, Ethan Moore, yes, he's made some bad decisions in the past, off-track decisions. And, well, Bouchard's staying out, but Moore's coming in. He's made some bad off-track decisions in the past. However, I've never doubted his talent. He's got a ton of talent. However, even he made some comments today that were kind of strange. Or this weekend, rather. But Moore needs to, I think, calm his off-track antics, and he could be a very solid future bet on the ARCSOA Elite Series stage. Charles Sanford's making a nuisance of himself because now Zayden Davidson's running P3 and Sanford just nails the back of him there. That wasn't cool because Menervini's on the verge of a podium. Dorian Bouchard finally brings it down pit road along with Eric DeMax and Zayden Davidson. Davidson had pretty much had to pit for damage repair. Bobby Jones is coming in from 4th position in the 3 car. DNC really wanted to do well here as kind of a tribute race to Kyle Collins. However, that they had the fastest car. I can't deny that. They had the fastest car, but it didn't exactly pay out. And Bouchard is going to be stuck behind Haddix and Monaco coming out of the pits. And Ethan Moore has gained a ton of time on them. Or on him, rather. However, Bouchard's got to nail through this traffic cleanly. And, well, he did get by Monaco cleanly. However, Haddix is going to be a little bit more of a problem, I think. As, Moore's got to get through some traffic as well. Much like his teammate, William Brock would break down the 14 car and fall out of the race. So that's both Kapnick's Porsches out of the race in this one. Tough break for both of them because through attrition, I think Brock was actually doing they were actually one of the cars that were doing quite well that team was due to the attrition despite starting in the back. Well, it was starting out to be a good day for Madeline Myatt, or it's a bad day for Madeline Myatt, good day for the rest of the field. However, Madeline Myatt's up to 7th. Her father, not as much. She's going to gain a ton of points on her father and probably take the point lead if she continues up the order. I'm not sure, but if she does take the point lead, I think she would become the first female to ever do so in ARCSOA. I have to check back on that. However, I don't think a female's ever taken the point lead in ARCSOA before. Maybe, now that I think about it, maybe Aaron Perkins McCormick did, or the former, however, I'm not sure about that. She might have had the point lead, Aaron McCormick / Perkins. She was married at the time and divorced Todd McCormick. However, Madeline Myatt, she's pitting now anyway. So she's not as high up the order as I thought. But if she does take the point lead, she would either become the first or second female to ever do so. Dorian Bouchard has had a lot of issues with Haddix in front of him. Haddix is running very similar lap times to Bouchard. And this is putting Ethan Moore, who got by Monaco quite easily, right up to them. Or actually, Ethan Moore is really closing here on them. Bouchard Bouchard caught the wall there. That's going to get Moore right to them here. Bouchard sliding around a bit. Haddix isn't giving up. And Haddix is not exactly the happiest with Bouchard because of the rough racing nature here, but Haddix really should be conceding that spot. And here comes Ethan Moore onto the scene. And this is going to be highly controversial of Haddix not ceding way to the 73 car. However, it doesn't seem like Moore is really gaining as much as he probably should be, as finally Bouchard, I think, shakes his fin. Oh, Bouchard caught the wall again! Haddix is coming back on the inside, and this is not what Bouchard wanted. Bouchard tried shutting the door on her, and finally does, because that car has no straight line speed. Haddix doesn't. Bouchard was chopping the nose off that car quite badly there. DJ Curtis actually is up to 3rd position now. Eric DeMax, I don't know where he fell to. Eric DeMax is all the way down to P9. And that's not what DeMax wanted to see there as well, as Freeze is up here as well. Rowe is doing a good job as well. Davidson, Caldwell, and Dodd. Chris Dodd is the fastest car on the track of the whole race so far, doing a 1:08. He was faster than all of Roush's times. There was a big stack-up caused by the slow Kenny Myatt. There isn't a whole lot of passing opportunities around this track, and, well, Myatt hasn't been exactly the cleanest back marker in this race. He is the poise contender and really wants to slow others up. DJ Curtis has now caught the rear end of Ethan Moore for second position. Curtis and Pericles are, well, no, Pericles is a lap down because he just pitted. But Curtis is doing his best to pick up the pieces from an incident here and possibly win this race, despite the challenges that were placed in front of him. Bouchard really isn't legging himself all that much. And, well, Ethan Moore, oh no, Curtis is coming in. Never mind, I keep doing that. I keep saying, oh, Curtis is doing really well, and then he has to pit. However, this puts Chris Dodd into third place, and Dodd, like I said, was the fastest car on the track, so the cycle is reverting its way through. Oh, Eric DeMax has problems with his car. DeMax had a good race going, but mechanical problems have just been hurting him. Although, actually, that might have been a scheduled stop. Never mind. Jake Baskinger had some pit road contact, and that's going to put his hood off. Baskinger was one of the cars I thought would be threatening for the win in this race, but obviously that's not seeming to be the case here. Dorian Bouchard has just been holding on because the Action Terra, I honestly think, and I hate saying this because I like Bouchard as a guy, I think Moore is technically better than him, but Moore doesn't have the car to really get up there and leg it like Bouchard does. Bouchard's just playing as very calculated and precise. So that's very important by him. We're going to give credit to Zayden Davidson being the second fastest car on the track right now. Zayden Davidson's not up there simply because the order was screwed up. Zayden Davidson's up there on his own merit. Minervini has quietly surprised me this year, and for having no power, they were circling this race as a possible threat for them. And, well, that seems to be the case. Chris Dodd now has caught the back end of Ethan Moore. And, well, now, right as I... Every time some faster car gets to the back of Ethan Moore, they got to pit. So, I'm not sure what kind of voodoo logic... And remember, Chris Dodd started dead last. He's up to third. So, congratulations to Dodd. What kind of voodoo logic, though, that Ethan Moore is doing is hexing. And because of that, that puts a Minervini on the podium. Good jobs. If anybody would have thought that Bouchard, Moore, and Davidson would be the top three runners 33 laps into the round of Canada, or any ARCSOA race, I would have probably laughed in your face. But, hey, good for them. Ethan Moore brings it down pit road from second position. That gives Zayden Davidson second in a Minervini. Still can't believe I'm saying that. But Bouchard is starting to... Well, Bouchard's not doing a whole lot, and actually Davidson's faster than him. Race leader Bouchard brings it down pit road, and Zayden Davidson's staying out. We're going to get a Minervini leading this thing. Zayden Davidson's taking the lead of the round of Canada. So Minervini, a fan-favorite team, despite never having any money, still shows up for a race, is leading the race. However, as the pit stop cycle kind of cycled itself out, DJ Curtis and Noah Hart actually jumped Ethan Moore and now are all over the back of Bouchard. This is actually for the race lead, believe it or not, because Davidson still hasn't pitted, I don't think. Or has he pitted? I'm sorry, Davidson did pit. So the race lead is between Bouchard, Curtis, and Hart. Right here is your race leading battle. I don't know where Noah Hart came from, but he is quick right now. And DJ Curtis has been fast as well. Ethan Moore just doesn't seem to have the speed to really pull anything off. However, Noah Hart wasn't up there on merit. He is actually on a different strategy. So Hart could be third if pit strategy works his way, or could be battling for the win. However, Hart's got to do some more, I think. Dorian Bouchard's in the race of his life right now, trying to hold off the very experienced DJ Curtis, and Curtis is on trying to throw it away there. And Curtis has a problem, I think. Curtis's car does not look healthy, and it looks slow out there, to be honest with you now, but Bouchard's car doesn't exactly look the healthiest either. I'm thinking Curtis might need to pit. He's not, though. But he's in the race of his life trying to hold off a much more experienced DJ Curtis, and he's got to get by Eddie Champadkar. Close call between teammates. Andrew Rowe is coming out of the pits, and around he goes off of his teammate who's in second position. I'm surprised team orders didn't come into play there, but I'm sure Viper Tech will be having to address that. Despite the damage, DJ Curtis is all over the back of Dorian Bouchard. Bouchard is one of the most careful drivers out there on the field, but I think now if you're Bouchard, you've got to show some aggression here in keeping the 22 behind you, because he is going to pounce on you if not. But remember, he's on a different strategy too. The 22 is as well. And the 73's got to get by the 15. That's going to be your best way of doing it, is getting the 15 here. You've got to find somewhere around him. And it doesn't look like Bouchard's really going to do that, as Curtis is flying up the inside for the lead. But Bouchard's fighting back and gets a run off the corner. But no, I don't know. They're battling side by side down the straightaway down to turn 3. However, Padkar blocks the 22 car, letting Bouchard get the line. The 22 is going to be incredibly aggressive here. However, now he's forcing Bouchard to go around the outside. Bouchard messes the corner up, nearly gets into the 15 car. And here's the aggression we were talking about. They could both theoretically bend this and give the lead to Moore. Curtis is taking the outside around the corner. Not sure why he's doing that. And Ethan Moore just wants to see them crash so that he can guarantee a spot back on the grid. We're hearing, though, that Ace Vito's going to get this car back. However, he's got to be very careful. And finally, as you can see, the 73 has gotten by Padkar. Now DJ Curtis's teammates being a nuisance, as his teammates actually found some speed. Rowe has been being an absolute nightmare for the 22 car. And the two teammates, they're fighting side by side tooth and nail, and Rowe's trying to unlap himself on his teammate who's battling for second. Crash further back, I think. I thought I heard an incident somewhere on the track. I might have been wrong, however. Dorian Bouchard ought to be sending a Christmas card to Andrew Rowe, who is being a complete nightmare for his teammate. Rowe is definitely not a team player here. There's going to be a lot of explaining to do. Rowe's going to have a lot of explaining to do to Viper Tech's leading officials, because this is ridiculous. He's racing his teammate, unless if they think that Rowe is faster than Bouchard, and maybe they're going to try and get Rowe in front of Bouchard to start screwing with him. That doesn't seem to be the case, because Viper Tech is bringing Curtis down pit road. Frustrated DJ Curtis, not having a good race there, as more problems for Sanford. However, Rowe is somewhat catching the 73 car. He's trying to unlap himself. Gotta give him credit. However, now they are still in a battle. He is still in a battle with the 22 car. Bouchard is. And if the 21 is a big nuisance to Bouchard, well, that could theoretically put Curtis in the lead of the race after the pit stop cycle. It would put Moore in the lead, but we already saw that Curtis had a pretty substantial gap to Moore. Bouchard and Moore have pitted. Now it is all eyes are on DJ Curtis. Where is Curtis on track? Nowhere, really. They had to repair damage to that car. So Moore beats Bouchard out! Bouchard, terrible pit stop! Terrible pit stop! That's going to put Moore in the lead of the... Well, actually, it puts Noah Hart in the lead of the race, but he's on a different strategy altogether. That's going to put Moore in the lead, and Bouchard had to get damage repaired because the officials weren't going to let him lead. That same thing happened to DJ Curtis, so Bouchard now is going to have to chase down Ethan Moore. However, Noah Hart, who's on a completely different strategy right now, is in the theoretical lead here. And if this strategy works out, Hart could be putting himself in a position to win this thing. He's saving a lot of gas right now, and he's faster than Moore. Angel is theoretically in third position without a hood, and he is being massively held up by Moore. But I believe Angel's going to need to pit here. Moore takes a nice defensive line, entering three, that is. However, he can't really gap Angel here. But Angel, I think, should pit this pretty soon here. I think he's on the same strategy as Hart. Vance Caldwell and Bobby Jones take fourth and fifth behind Bouchard, who is a man on a mission now, chalking up some pretty quick laps here. Curtis, as well, as on a mission to try and get to theoretically Ethan Moore now, because they're still on the same strategy. All three of them, I think, are on the same strategy for the most part. Noah Hart, however, I believe he's got to be pitting soon. That car's running on miracles, to be honest. Yeah, he's coming in this time, I think. Yeah, okay, so Hart's bringing it down pit road. This could end up being a Noah Hart show here, if he's lucky. However, he's got some, I think, damage he's got to repair a bit. I'm not sure, though. How's that car look? I can't really see from the positioning of the car. The battle for the lead is between Moore, Angel, and, well, Caldwell's pitting. Bobby Jones now is up to third with Bouchard in fourth. And Curtis is going to be up to fifth. So now it's Ethan Moore's turn to lead this race. However, Sean Angel would dive for the lead on the start of lap 59 of 73 here, and here we go. Angel now is diving for the lead around these cornering complex, and I believe Sean Angel's going to take over the lead of this race here. He's going to need to pit here soon. However, he is possibly setting himself up for an overall win here as well. The Canadian native really wants to do well at his home race, and Angel is possibly going to get a win here as he gets by Ethan Moore for the lead. Sean Angel, the theoretical master of chaos, is right now doing his best to, he's either really good at causing chaos and he's really good at picking up the pieces from chaos. The one person that Ethan Moore doesn't want to let him by is Bobby Jones or Dorian Bouchard. They're all on the same strategy. Angel, who knows what he's on, what strategy he's on. But Bobby Jones and Dorian Bouchard are pretty much on the same strategy as Ethan Moore. Bobby Jones, I think, is, by the way. He could be on some other strategy as well, but pretty much it's all a showdown here for who is going to be the fastest car at the end of this race. Bouchard's setting up some pretty quick times, as is Bobby Jones. So, out of curiosity, Zane Davidson's in fifth. He's lost a bit of ground here. Sebastian Torres is up to sixth. Dodds to seventh. Eighth is Caldwell. Ninth is Shock. And 10th is DJ Curtis, who has had to pit again with tire issues. So DJ Curtis's race keeps going from bad to worse. Dorian Bouchard short pitted. This could be a very interesting strategy call here by Team Napia Finland. I think they're actually the 22 is what's also short pitted by mistake. Myatt broke down. Well, Myatt's been a pretty good back marker, however, that's going to be good for the rest of the field here. He's not going to get many points today. Ethan Moore had short pitted as well. Now it's the 3 car. The 3 car was behind him on track. What is the 60? Where's the 60 going to slot in all this? And he's going to definitely beat Bobby Jones here. 73, however, is not short, or the 37, I'm sorry, is not short pitting. He is stuck in his strategy and he can't adapt to it. Sean Angel brings it down pit road here along with DJ Curtis again. More issues for that car. Now it's a battle between Moore and Angel, and I think Angel's going to get it here, provided they don't fix any damage. And they are fixing damage. So Ethan Moore is going to re-inherit the lead. even over Noah Hart, that is. So Noah Hart had a pretty atrocious pit stop there on his cycle, so Hart should have been in the lead. However, now all eyes turn to Zayden Davidson, who hasn't short pitted yet either, so Davidson's in the bloody lead of the race. Vance Caldwell's theoretically in third, but I believe he does still have to pit, as does Zayden Davidson, because there's no way I think he's going to go another 10 laps. Or, not 10 laps, but another till the end of this race. I don't see that happening, and if he does, he is a fuel-saving master if he does. Noah Hart's strategy didn't exactly play out for him here, as he is pitting this time. He has dropped down to 10th or 11th, I believe. Or actually down to 12th. Maybe 13th, actually, because Shock, I think, is battling with him. No, Maya he's down to 14th, Hart is. Zayden Davidson realizes he has to pit. So Ethan Moore in all of this is leading this race over Vance Caldwell in second. Well, it won't it will cycle through the, this is fixed. So Ethan Moore leads over Caldwell, who's slow. And now it's all down to Sean Angel. Can Angel close in the gap? He's faster than Moore. But Moore has been one of the only drivers to keep his nose completely clean all race. So Ethan Moore in the 60 car, filling in for Grayson Acevedo, who is contractually obligated to come back. I don't know if that's going to be honestly the case, though. Ethan Moore has really proved himself here. However, he's a liability off the track. So what will Action Terra do if Moore pulls this off? Ethan Moore has had issues getting by Padcar here, and now we're realizing Caldwell's going to try and stay in this, even though he's saving fuel. He is in the battle for this win, Caldwell is. And Vance Caldwell has never won a race, and in that War Wagon, it's a miracle that that thing's still even running. And I'm sorry, Ethan Moore hasn't kept his nose completely clean. He does have some damage. However, it's not nearly as bad as some of the others. However, Caldwell is a definite threat here, as is Angel, who's gaining about a second a lap on these guys. Sean Angel, however, is catching up with only 2 to go to Vance Caldwell. However, he's got to have some divine intervention if he's going to win his home race, as Ethan Moore is coming to take the white flag. I have never seen a comeback like this. He's filling in for a driver who was suspended, and Grayson Acevedo's got to feel really bad about his incident there, because he could be in that car. It hasn't been the best car all day, but he just took the white flag of this race. 1 lap to go. He's got one more perfect lap, and he's got this, because I don't think Caldwell's catching him, and, well, Angel's stuck behind Rowe, who's been a great wall the whole race. Moore, all he needs to do is bring that car home, and he is an ARCSOA Elite Series winner. He's got all the talent in the world, but he's got to clean up his off-track ability, his off-track antics if he wants to stay in the sport. They suspended him for drug use in the past, however, he's apparently cleaned his act up enough to get him his license reinstated. A little bit of contact there between Rowe and Angel back there. Ethan Moore, however, has been there pretty much this whole race. I cannot believe I'm seeing an Action Terra going on to win a race. However, they had the right strategy. They had a talented driver. They have a talented driver, and I'm not saying Acevedo isn't, but Ethan Moore, the Indiana native, the Hoosier at heart, is going to win the Round of Canada here at Toronto. Ethan Moore somehow pulled this off. Vance Caldwell second, Sean Angel third, and 2 really battered up cars. 4th goes to Baskinger, 4th, wow. 5th goes to Torres, 6th to Davidson, who ended up being the fastest car on the track at the end of the race. 7th to Bouchard, who I thought threw away a pretty good finish. 8th to Dodd. 9th to, well, Bobby Jones is 9th. However, he's not going to finish there, as Sanford and Madeline Myatt have passed him coming to the line. And Bobby Jones is, quite frankly, a bad call there for them. Anyway, let's go down to your finishing results. So Ethan Moore has won the race, Vance Caldwell second, Sean Angel third, Jake Baskinger fourth, Sebastian Torres fifth, Zayden Davidson sixth, Dorian Bouchard seventh, Dodd eighth, Myatt ninth, Madeline Myatt that is, 10th for Charles Sanford, 11th to Kyle Schock Jr., 12th to Becca Haddix, 13th to Vince Freeze, 14th to Bobby Jones, 15th to Noah Hart, 16th to Rowe, 17th to DeMax, 18th to Curtis, 19th to Monaco, 20th to Padcar, 21st to Pericles, 22nd to Myatt, 23rd to Baker, 24th to Roush, 25th to Brock, 26th to Alex Allen, 27th to John Art, 28th to Thaber, 29th to Bishelia, 30th to Polyakov, 31st to Lamas, 32nd to Blake, 33rd to Cortez, 34th to Vince Allen, 35th to Aiden Shepard, and somebody did not even take the start of the race. Yeah, I don't see Will Hoyt in this. Yeah, Will Hoyt didn't even bother taking the start because of mechanical problems, so Tristan Will Hoyt is not going to be credited with any points in this race. Let's go down to your points in general. We do have a change at the top of the point standings right now. We have Madeline Myatt overtaking her father for the points lead, with Baskinger in third, Pericles in fourth, Rose stays in fifth, Angel sixth, Sanford seventh, Curtis eighth, Padcar, Schock, Torres, Allen, Brock, Hart, and keep in mind, there's still, the points score didn't change a whole lot compared to what we thought it would, because a lot of the people at the top of the grid didn't have a great day. After Hart, you have Cole Baker, Dodd, Caldwell, Blake, Davidson, and Haddix. And as I scroll down a little bit more here, Bishelia, Roush, Shepard, Bouchard, Freeze, Monaco, Acevedo, who didn't take part, Cortez, Will Hoyt. And then as I keep going down, here's Art, Bobby Jones, DeMax, Polyakov, Allen, Moore, Thaber, and Lamas in that order. Sorry for a little bit of the change there in how I have to do the points, but I'll figure something out about that later for the round of Illinois, which is the next race in the ARCSOA Elite Series. We'll see you then.